What's going on, everybody? Happy Monday night. So, I did not plan to stream tonight, obviously, but whenever there's breaking news, you know what you're going to get. You know that you are going to get a stream from me. So, breaking news, Commanders are finalizing a deal to hire Vikings defensive passing game coordinator and defensive backs coach Daronte Jones as their new defensive coordinator. Jones has been one of Brian Flores' most trusted defensive coaches the past 3 seasons, and he also coached under Vance Joseph and Mike Zimmer. This dude has tons of experience. He's been around the league for a while. They just interviewed him the other day, actually. So this is a very underwhelming move, I'll say. I expected, you know, I expected a Carl Scott or an Al Harris or kind of a bigger name, to be honest with you, but we did not get that. We got Daronte Jones. But this is a very exciting move because Daronte Jones has been around some of the best guys in the league. I mean, Vance Joseph and Mike Zimmer, those guys know how to call a defense. And don't even forget Brian Flores. He was with Brian Flores last year. Make sure you guys smash the like button on this live stream. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel as well. Drop your thoughts and opinions in the comment section. But yeah, so defensive backs coach and passing game coordinator for the Vikings last year. I just really am happy that he worked under Brian Flores. Like that's very that means so much in this hiring process. Like who you work under, you know, I think it's a pretty solid move. Now, I'll have to look up like his age and stuff. Is this another young hire? Could be. I don't know. But so let's see if we can find anything out on Daronte Jones. He's obviously becoming the new defensive coordinator for the Washington Commanders. So he all I know is he's been around the league for a while, okay? And so that's definitely very so he was born in 1978. So yeah, he's about 48, 49, 50. Yeah, so he's not on the younger side of things. He's never called plays. So I'll say he's never called plays to my knowledge. I don't think he's ever been a defensive coordinator, but he's worked under some of the best guys. So hey, I'm not going to sit here and be mad. They're giving a guy a chance who has, coached under really good guys. Just really Mike Zimmer and Brian Flores. I mean, he really found a home in Minnesota. And when you look at Minnesota, they haven't their defense has not been the problem the past few years, right? So it really hasn't. So he also called plays at LSU. I did see that online. He called plays at LSU. So this to me seems like a pretty strong hire. Obviously, we probably would have liked a Carl Scott. We probably would have liked another guy, an Al Harris even. But I'm not even going to get really mad at this hire, to be honest with you. It's just a little bit surprising. I'll say that. I thought they were going to go with someone else, but Jones impressed multiple teams during interviews. One person who has worked with him told John Keim last week, though, it was just a matter of time before he was hired as the defensive coordinator. So, he was, I mean, I guess the Commanders had planned this for a little while to get Daronte Jones in here as the new defensive coordinator. So, yeah, John Keim already knew that this move was going to happen, apparently. So they knew that they wanted Daronte Jones as their new defensive coordinator. So the interview must have went really well. You just don't know how these meetings go when you're a fan. And so this thing could have gone really well. He could have impressed them in the meeting in a lot of ways. And, we could have really just hit it off with Daronte Jones. And so that's what I'm hoping happened. And I think that when you look at it, I think that this is a strong hire because of just, again, he's worked under these guys that have such a good rep around the NFL. I mean, again, Vance Joseph and Mike Zimmer and Brian Flores, those are some of the best defensive coordinators you'll ever see. Brian Flores might be one of the best defensive coordinators of all time, and that's the guy that he's most recently worked with. So if you're a Washington fan, just I would be excited. I would have a lot of hope, and I would be excited about this move. This is what you needed to get a guy in here. You needed to get a guy in here, set his defense up, because you build the draft and the free agency around your new defensive coordinator. That's what you do. That's what everyone does. And so, yeah, we needed to get a guy in here. We did. So we have 49 people in here. Let's try and get up to 50 likes on this stream if we could. I need all of y'all to click that like button, please. And then also click that subscribe button if you're new to this channel, if you're new to this community. We're trying to reach 4K subscribers. Appreciate y'all for joining me tonight. Again, reason we met tonight, Commanders are finalizing a deal to hire Vikings defensive pass game coordinator and defensive backs coach Daronte Jones. So, yeah, I saw that they met with him the other day. I saw that they had a meeting with him the other day. I'm surprised. Again, I'm a little bit surprised that they hired him. Like I was looking at my notifications and I saw his name and I was like, dang, like this isn't anybody else. This really isn't a Carl Scott, or sorry, not Carl Scott, Al Harris. This really isn't a let's see, who were the other candidates? This really isn't a guy that I was expecting. I kind of blew Daronte Jones' name off when I saw. So, like honestly, I'm not mad at all. I'm not mad at all, and I think that we should give Daronte Jones a major chance. We should give him a big chance, and we let him see what he can do. Right? Let him see what he can do. We have David Blau as our offensive coordinator, and we now have Daronte Jones as our new defensive coordinator. Somebody said that picture in the title is not him. Let me see. I'll have to look at my thumbnail. Oh, that might not be him. You might be right. I'll have to fix that. Anyway, my bad. I think it's a solid hire though. I think it's a solid hire. I think that I really think that we should look at this move and be excited. No, this is Daronte Jones on the title. It's Daronte Jones on the title. Yeah. So it may not look like him, but it is. So yeah. It feels like a hire that I think Dan Quinn kind of wanted to be in the middle. Like again, Daronte Jones hasn't called plays to my knowledge. He called plays at LSU, but he hasn't called plays in the NFL. They said they wanted a guy that called plays though. But he's 48 years old again, and he's worked under guys. I think Dan Quinn wanted to settle for a guy that had worked under some really good coaches and had gained some really valuable knowledge, but he might not have wanted a real old guy that is gonna call plays the old way, right? I think that's kind of what he was thinking. So this brings a lot of excitement. This move brings a lot of excitement. I'm not mad at this move whatsoever, and we'll see where this takes us. But I'm just excited that he's worked under Brian Flores. Again, Brian Flores was the best defensive coordinator in the league last year. So we got the guy that worked with the best defensive coordinator last year. So is this better than Al Harris? I don't know. Is this better than Carl Scott? I don't know. But I think it's worth giving him a chance. And just the fact that he called plays at LSU is also another big boost for me as well. So let me see if I can find anything else out about him. So he joined the Vikings in 2020. He coached at UCLA, he coached at Hawaii, and he coached at Wisconsin and briefly in the CFL. Let's see. So yeah. So let's see if we can read a little bit more about him. But right now we got some basic knowledge. Here about Daronte Jones. So worked under some great guys, called plays at LSU, and has some good experience. So we'll go from there. But make sure you guys hit the like button on this stream if you could. Smash that like button for me. Make sure you guys smash that subscribe button if you're not a part of this community already. So let's get to the comment section here. If you want to jump to the front of the line in the comment section, you guys already know what to do. Super chat goal is 1 super chat. So that's all we're trying to get today is 1 super chat. And that's how you get your comment read quick and the first one to be read. So let me see. So first comment. Great signing. Yeah, I wouldn't call it great, but I again, I don't mind it. I think it comes with some excitement. Like I'm not, I'm not mad at the move at all. But I would have probably preferred someone else, right? But yeah, it's not great, but we'll see how he goes from here. Like he could be really good next year. He could be a mini Brian Flores. Like he could be a mini Brian Flores, right? So yeah, and hopefully that's what he is, right? He's not young. Yeah, he's around 49 or 50. Um he's around 49 or 50. So or sorry, he's like 46 or 47. I think exactly maybe 46. So yeah, he's around that age, not too young, not too old. I think it's a good age to start, as a defensive coordinator, right? So okay, Vance Joseph and Mike Zimmer and Brian Flores is good enough for me. Solid. Yeah, I mean, you're giving a guy a chance that's worked under all these guys. Again, just look at Vance Joseph right now. He has one of the best defenses in the league. And notice a theme with those guys. They're all not meant to be head coaches, but they are all meant to be defensive coordinators. So we may have just found our defensive coordinator for the future here. And I hope that's the case. But yeah, when you look at Vance Joseph, one of the best defenses in the league right now with Denver. Mike Zimmer had one of the best defenses with the Vikings when he was calling plays. Brian Flores has one of the best defenses in the league. His defenses are always good. They're always solid. So yeah, like that's just giving me a lot of hope. All right. Yeah, that's just giving me a lot of hope, like overall. That really does boost some energy to this hiring. If there was no background on him, he didn't work for anyone, then okay. But yeah, he worked for some solid guys. So yeah. Yeah, he called plays. He has called plays at LSU. I saw that. I wonder if he was there when Jaden was there. Like, I know that obviously he works on the defensive side of the ball, but I wonder if he was there when Jaden was there. Like, there could be a connection there as well, which would be a very solid add to this hiring if he was there when Jaden was there. But I don't know. I can't answer that for you. But he might have been. I mean, I think he might have been. There's a solid chance he could have been. So Dallas interviewed him as well before they were hired. Okay, that's good. Yeah. So one of the things that like Adam Schefter said was a lot of teams were interested. So when a lot of teams were interested, that means Dallas, their defensive coordinator vacancy, they probably interviewed him. So yeah, that's definitely good that a lot of teams were interested in him. I think that's definitely a solid a solid add to his resume. Just a lot of teams being interested in him. So I think getting someone who coached under Brian Flores is solid. I can't stress that enough. Defensive coordinator at LSU in 2021, though, too. So, yeah, there's a lot of positives to this hire. I'll say that. There's definitely a lot of positives. And we'll just have to keep researching every day. But this is a really good young hire. So the Commanders will go into the season with two first-time NFL coordinators, though. David Blau on offense and Daronte Jones on defense. Jones does have a year of calling plays at LSU, though. So these are two first-time coordinators, guys. How are we feeling? Flood the comment section. Let me know your guys' thoughts. I just want to hear you guys' thoughts on this move. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see what everybody has to say. I don't see any really hate for this move yet, which I'm a little bit surprised with. I'm surprised people aren't spamming the name Carl Scott, but hey, I'm glad, right? I'm glad people are giving this a chance. I think they definitely should. Let me go do my homework on him. Yeah, it's going to take some time to really study up on who he is and his background, but yeah, I mean, it's yeah. So okay, now official. It's now official. The Commanders are hiring Daronte Jones. So it's now official. Daronte Jones is the new defensive coordinator of the Washington Commanders. So there it is, guys. We now have both coordinators officially. So earlier in the week, we heard that he was a strong candidate. Like John Com apparently knew something. So yeah. I didn't really hear as much buzz as I thought I would before this, but it happened. So he was interviewed by at least 5 teams. Like Daronte Jones was interviewed by at least 5 teams. That's according to Field Yates as well. So he's clearly a highly coveted candidate. and a homecoming for Jones, right? He was born in Maryland. So there's a lot of positives in here. Dan Quinn does get his defensive coordinator, though. This does feel like a Dan Quinn hiring, to be honest with you. So I'm not mad. I'm not mad. At this point, I'm not even tripping. I'm just glad we hired someone. Unfortunately, for me as a fan of the Redskins and Commanders for 39 years, it's going to be a long process to get back to the championship. I mean, last year, you saw how quick this goes. Like last year, we made it to the NFC Championship. Last year, we we were one game away from the Super Bowl. So you see how quick this can turn around and how quick this goes. So it may or may not be a long time getting back to, the way we were last year, but let's just hope we can get there sooner than later, right? And I think that when you have a guy like Daronte Jones, a first-time coordinator, like he could ultimately be here for 5 years, and on that 5th year, he could be him and David Blau could still be here, getting us to the championship, empowering us to a championship, and that's the ultimate goal. Being being on the team, right? Being a fan of the team as well. Just that's the ultimate goal: win a Super Bowl. That's always what you're trying to get to. So just picture it like that. Like he could be a future head coach one day. This could be a very strong hire, but we just can't speak too highly of this move yet. We can't, speak if this is a bad move yet. We can't say that, right? Because we just don't know, right? There's a lot of experience here for Daronte Jones. He just worked under the best defensive coordinator in the league. So it's fine with me right now. It's fine with me right now. If this dude had no experience, if no other team interviewed him to be their new defensive coordinator, then okay, I'd be a little bit worried. But at least 5 teams interviewed Daronte Jones to be the new defensive coordinator there. So he's a highly coveted candidate. It's a lot of teams wanted him. A lot of teams wanted him. Carter, I've been saying since Greg Williams, who has been a decent coordinator other than Al Harris, there hasn't been anyone I was really impressed with. Our defense has struggled for a minute. Yeah, we ultimately we just have to put good players around whoever the defensive coordinator was going to be. We just have to put good players around him. That's it, man. You don't think that the Texans defense, the Patriots defense is everything it is just because the defensive coordinator. Like, no, you have to put good players around the defense. The Vikings went out and got good players for their defense this year, and that's why they were the best in the league almost, right? So these teams go out and get players. I think it ultimately just comes down to going out and splurging and getting players for your defensive coordinator. You can't just sit back and have a defense like we had this year. You can say all you want about Joe Witt Jr., but when you look at his defense, it was not good. The players on the defense were not good. And when you're already down to your third string guys, when you're already down there, it's hard to make something work. So you can say whatever you want about him, but you have to ultimately go out there and build your defense with solid players. And that may take some time for this team. Right? That may take some time. But we ultimately got to get Daronte Jones now the best defense we possibly can this offseason. We have to get him the best defense we possibly can. Whether that's re-signing guys or whether that's spending a lot of money that you have in free agency. We have to go out there and get some of the best players. We have to go splurge, or else it's not going to work. You can't put mid talent and bad talent and guys that have no experience around a guy that's already inexperienced. You can't have Daronte Jones with a bunch of bums. You can't do it and expect him to work out. You can't do it. You have to put talent around Daronte Jones now. That's going to be the main goal. And it's going to be players that he wants. I'm sure he'll be able to choose who he wants to bring in here, who he wants to, right? Because that's how it works. So the scheme takes a while to understand. Flores' defense took a couple years to get right with the Vikings, and that's Dan Quinn's fault if he gets fired for hiring him, because you got to know this stuff. You have to understand and know, who you're hiring. And I'm sure they do, but I'm just saying, you have to know who you're hiring. I'm sure they know, though. So, and maybe it does take a few years, right? But you got to know who you're hiring. If you want to win now, you hire a guy that has a scheme that's pretty conservative, that a lot of people can catch on and understand quick. But that's maybe that's not Daronte Jones. According to you, it's not. I don't know too much about him. I don't. So, but I know that he's worked under some of the best defensive coordinators ever. So I know that there's talent here. I know there's a future here. All right. It's a solid hire, in my opinion. Yeah, it's solid. Again, it's not bad. It's not great. It's not bad though, right? We just got to give it a chance. It's like David Blau. You just have to give it a chance. You can't really speak on it until you give it a chance. You see that, okay, well, this is a guy that, he's never called plays before. He's not the best option that there was in the market. But then you also see that he's worked under some of the best coaches, of all time. He's worked under some of the best defensive coordinators of all time. So these things contrast, right? These things contrast. And so you just got to go out there and you got to give him a chance, right? So make sure you smash the like button, guys. Make sure you smash that subscribe button as well. We're trying to reach 4K subscribers as soon as possible. So please hit the subscribe button. Please hit the like button. Any super chats are greatly appreciated. Super chats are read first, and super chats keep the channel healthy and moving. So any super chats are greatly appreciated. Go as one for today on this particular stream. Feels like a settle hire. It does. It does. It's a pretty comfortable move. Again, it's nothing great. It's nothing bad. That's what I'll say. It's just kind of a mid hire. Like, you see the name and you're like, okay, all right. Like, it just doesn't really mean much to me, right? I got to see him do something first. So I thought we were low key waiting on Carl Scott, but we're not. We weren't. We were definitely not doing that. So it was Daronte Jones all along, apparently, and this is their guy. We got to respect it. This was their guy. They hired their guy. It's better than I thought they was going to do. Yeah, I definitely thought that this. I told y'all this is going to be underwhelming. Like, I literally said it a few weeks ago. And I said it on my past show talking about a defensive coordinator, right? I said this is going to be underwhelming because a guy with options most likely isn't going to come here. But we got a guy with options. Daronte Jones had at least 5 teams interview him. He had options. He came here. So, that's exciting, right? He probably wanted to work under Dan Quinn, and he likes the defense. He likes the culture that we have here, right? So Dan Quinn knows how to hire people. So if he got this defensive coordinator hiring wrong, then he's cooked. Because when you look at it, this is a guy that Dan Quinn is known for, his ability to hire people. He's known for bringing guys in. And when you're a defensive-minded guy hiring a defensive coordinator, if you can't bring the right guy in, you're in trouble. You're in trouble. What's going on, my guy, Lou? What's going on? Yeah, but if you can't bring in, talent, then that's a problem. So, let's see here. Where was I in the comment section? And I say there's some guys on here he probably has plans for. Amos, Sammerstill, maybe Quan. Anyway, I hope we get a sustainable secondary for a while. They better pay him if he proves himself. I agree. That's what they're going to work on this offseason. There's no promises here. There's no promises. But it's definitely going to be interesting. You're definitely building around Amos and Sammerstill. I mean, I know those guys are going to be here. Amos seems like solid talent. We need a guy that can coach him up. Sammerstill, you got to figure out where he's going to play. Where is he going to play in this Jones defense? Where is he going to play? We got to figure that out. So more like Daronte Jones has to figure that out. So, there's just a lot of things that this comes with. There's a lot of things that this comes with. And there's a lot of things that he's going to have to figure out. And that's okay. That's okay. It's going to take, some time to get adjusted here in DC. But certainly once free agency rolls around, once the draft rolls around, he'll be ready. And Dan Quinn's going to have plenty of talks with him by then. I wonder if he has any relationship with JD5 through LSU. That's what I was wondering. I know JD5 was obviously on the offense, obviously. Defense for Daronte Jones, obviously. But again, even if the defensive coordinator and the quarterback know each other, they know each other. They talk sometimes, right? They definitely talk sometimes. So I'm sure they did at LSU if they were, connected there. So I don't know. It depends. So LSU, Daronte Jones was there through 2021. That's it. Only 1 year. So Depending on if Jaden was there in 2021. He may have still been with Arizona State in 2021. But yeah, it'd be cool. It'd be nice if there was a connection there. I think that would definitely make it easier for Jones to come in here. But yeah, I'd have to check. I don't know what years Daniels was with Arizona State or not. So let me check right now, actually. Let me check right now. So Jaden Daniels, let's look up his college years. He may have still been, I think he was still with Arizona State. So, so 2019 through 2021, he was with Arizona State. 2022, 2023 was with LSU. Yeah, that sucks. They didn't meet in college. They didn't see each other in college. Okay. So, yeah, there was no connection there. I'll tell you that there was no connection there, but it is what it is, right? It's not like you're going to need to, have that connection. Again, it was a defensive and offensive guy. So Ryan Fowler put out a tweet as well. Let me read this Ryan Fowler tweet, and then I'll get back to the comment section. Make sure, guys, if you want to get your comment read first, super chats are the way to do that. The goal is 1 for tonight. Make sure you guys hit the like button, subscribe to the channel as well. So let me read this real quick. Things to expect under Daronte Jones in Washington: physical, athletic, tone-setting linebackers, alignment, versatile defensive backs, instincts from varying levels of a defense, should be more post-snap rotation, length and quick twitch in his edge rushers. Free agency and the draft could also see Washington prioritize alignment, versatile prospects rather than ones that fit under rigid positional labels. Good hire, according to Ryan Fowler. Good hire, according to Ryan Fowler. So, yeah, there's some background stuff that you may need to know here in this hiring. So if that helps y'all out a little bit, I hope it did, right? I hope it helped y'all out a little bit. Learn more about Jones, what he's going to come in here and do. He didn't want the same scheme. Al Harris was going to run the same defense we've been running. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Maybe, you want to change things up, right? Let's see. Hope he brings the Flores playbook with him. Yeah, again, that's the best defensive coordinator in the league last year. So, yeah, and he's going to. You don't think that when he's been with the Vikings since 2022, don't think that he's going to not bring that over. He's obviously going. Dudes bring what they learn over. You don't just create a whole new scheme. So, yes, he is going to. He is. That's for sure. Now they need to make big moves in free agency. I believe they should trade down for more picks. I'd love them to trade down. But if there's a guy that you really, really like, draft him. But yeah, I'd love them to trade down. You're almost looking at, you have to trade down because you go from 70 to you go from 7 to 72. So it's ugly this year in the draft. So yeah, they're gonna make a lot of moves. I wonder who we would pick for our first pick: Payne, Bailey, or Downs. I would probably say Downs if he's there. He's just a generational safety. No one has said otherwise. So most likely Bailey. I could see them doing that as well. He's been in a bunch of our mock drafts. So yeah, we can't really tell who they're going to draft now. But so the draft is 87 days away. So we're 87 days away from the NFL draft. We are 44 days away from the NFL new league year. We are 230 days away from next season. So there's a little timestamp for y'all. So we got a while. We got a while to reflect on this move. Bad move. Why do you say that? He could be good, but I'm unsure. I was pretty shocked we hired him. Yeah, I was shocked too, to be honest with you. It seemed like a quick interview. They wanted to get him in here. They were kind of testing out what they had. I was kind of a little bit in shock, but they wanted him since last week. They wanted him. This was their guy. And again, Daronte Jones had 5+ teams trying to interview him. The Cowboys interviewed him as well. This could be a very good hire. So, yeah, don't speak too soon on if it's bad or good either. Garbage, again, I wouldn't say that yet. Open the bank, Josh Harris. They've been bringing dudes in, bruh. They casted a wide net, and apparently they found their guy. So I'm just happy we did that, I'm happy that we got Brian Flores in the building. We got Daronte Jones his defensive coordinator, we got him in here. So they casted a wide net. They tried a lot of things out, and I'm proud. I want to see how Daronte Jones works out here. I do. I want to see how he works out here. By the way, guys, make sure you all click the like button. Let's try and get up to 50 likes in this stream overall. We have 59 people in here. Make sure you guys subscribe to this channel as well. We're trying to get up to 4K subscribers. Please all hit that subscribe button, all that like button. It definitely doesn't go unnoticed. Make sure you guys send a super chat as well. We're trying to get one super chat on this stream. So one super chat is the goal. If y'all could help me reach that goal. So let me see. We definitely need to drop down for more picks and also cut Lattimore and let Daron Payne go. That would help our cap space and make big moves on the free agency on defense. Daron Payne is the defense, though. Not is the defense, but he is a big part of the defense, right? You got to be smart when you're thinking about that. Definitely, obviously, cutting Lattimore. But yeah, Daron Payne, I talked about him earlier. If you want to hear more about Daron Payne and that whole situation, go check out my video from earlier. I made it about like 8 hours ago. So I definitely talked about him a lot. Should we restructure his contract, pay cut, let him go, try to trade him? I talked about all that there. Let me hear 3 defensive players in free agency you think we should target. All right, bet. Let me look at the free agent list here. 2026 NFL free agents. Yeah, let's go. I'm excited for this. I have not made a free agency video in a little while. So, and that one of those could be coming out soon. Expect that. But all right. So, let me see. If I can just see 3 players. So, 3 players that we should look to go out there and sign. Okay. So, and by the way, guys, Daronte Jones has to be able to develop players. So we need to bring in a lot of guys here. So let's look at the cornerback room first. There's not a lot of edge rushers. So yeah, let's look at the cornerback room here in free agency. See what's on the list here. If there's anything good, which I believe there is. Let's see. So Alontae Taylor intrigues me, cornerback from the Saints. Let's see if I can find anyone else from the cornerbacks. Greg Newsome wouldn't be a bad option. Nishan Wright is 27. I would like to bring him in. So there's a few cornerbacks for you. Let me get the edge rushers up real quick. We're supposed to be talking about the move that we just made, so I'll try to make this quick. There's no good edge rushers, to be honest with you. So Jermont Jones from the Ravens. Danico Autry's too old for me. Joe Tryon, edge rusher from the Bears. He wouldn't be awful. Azeez Ojulari is 25. Like, that's hard to turn down. So Boye Mafe, bring him in, and I'm so excited. So there's 2 guys there. Let's look at the safeties real quick. Andre Cisco, safety from the Jets, is 25 years old. He intrigues me. Geno Stone from the Bengals wouldn't be a bad option. So there's a look at free agency. I hope I'm wrong. And by the way, I'll do a bunch more free agency videos, so don't worry. I hope I'm wrong, but what a trash hire. None good. Wanted to be here, period. So thanks, Washington. Yeah, again, I would not call it that. I don't think you can call it that yet. You gotta wait till next year, wait for it to play out, Hopefully he does great things for this defense, and wonder who Jones wants to bring in here, because now players are going to follow him. Are they? I mean, I don't, because you'd rather stay under a Brian Flores defense, right? If players do follow him, I welcome them. Like, I want to see, who they could bring him in, who they could bring in. So, well, here's a guy. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. Solid hire. I accidentally typed bad hire. My bad. You can't do that, man. You don't switch up. If you thought it was a bad hire, just stay that way. You can't misspell that. They the ones that said they want to experience calling plays. They did. Shaking my damn head. I hope both these newbies work out or enjoy packing DQ and company. If this don't work, AP needs to pack his stuff too. Yeah, y'all gonna be more realistic though about AP though, because he's not going next year. He's not going next year. I promise you that. But DQ could be going next year. There's a realistic possibility that happens, but I think even that's overblown. So, yeah, he hired 2 guys without play calling experience. We'll see how it works out for him, to be honest with you. Hail to our Commanders, yes, sir. Trading down for more draft picks will be the best option to build around the defensive roster and cutting high-paid candidates like Daron, Payne, and Lattimore. And I think Bobby Wagner's going to be cut. He doesn't need to be cut. He doesn't need to be cut. He's a free agent. So, we already do have a decent amount of money. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they do there. They're definitely going to cut Lattimore. Daron Payne's interesting. Restructure his contract. Like, you can do a lot of things with Daron Payne. So, yeah, that's interesting. Like, we'll just have to wait and see what they do. But there's ways they can save money. There's a lot of things they can do, to be honest. A free agent, since he hasn't been extended. Yeah. We finally get this defense right. Just like I tell people that say it's a bad hire, you can't jump, and say this is going to be a great hire. This move's really going to work out either. We just have to wait and see, to be honest. So, yeah, we just got to wait and see how this hire works out, man. I'm not going to be too up or down on the move either way. So, yeah. What's good, Carter? Let's go. Stay positive, folks. What's going on, Chris Carter? Yeah, what's going on, man? I think we should just stay positive. Wait, again, we have 230 days until the start of next year. Like it's really a long ways away. We have a lot of time to reflect on these moves, and people that are calling the move bad now could be, screaming his name during the summer because he's doing a great job with this defense, or they look really good or something like that. So yeah, you really just have to wait and let these moves work out, right? DQ trust these guys. DQ has confidence in himself and his own hires, and so we just got to wait for DQ to let these boys cook. Do you think Downs is anywhere close to Sean Taylor? Yeah, I can't say anything near Sean Taylor yet. I hear that he's going to be a generational safety. I hear all this good stuff about him, but we cannot put anyone close to Sean Taylor yet and Ray Lewis yet. We can't do that. We can't do that yet. This dude hasn't even entered the league yet. So, yeah, we can't do that yet, but he could be generational, right? Let's be honest, the Vikings D was no joke. Respect. Yeah, again, they had the best defensive coordinator in the league. They had their defense hasn't been the problem. Their defense hasn't been the problem. So, their defense really was no joke. Like, this guy has a lot of experience under tough, physical, great defensive coordinators. So, it's time that he becomes one himself, right? Here we go. DQ has made his choices, and there's no margin left for error. Not a bad season, not even a mediocre one. You're wrong on that, I think. That's just my opinion. I think, even if we went 7-10, and you could see that the offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator were coming up at the end of the year, they were looking really good. They were finding their groove, finding their way. I think DQ would still be here next year. I think this whole DQ stuff being going after next year is overblown. I think Dan Quinn could be here next year. I think there's a solid chance that he's here the year after next year. I do. So I think that's a little bit overblown. You're not trading back if you take Downs. Obviously not. Obviously not. I think everybody in this chat knows that. So, yeah. Feels like they're going to keep Payne because reports are saying he will be in Washington next year no matter what. I saw the reports and stuff, but I couldn't tell you, to be honest, right now. I really couldn't tell you. This feels like they're going to keep Daron Payne just after those reports. It feels like, the insiders know something. But again, I just really can't tell you. I don't have a read on what they're going to do. I don't have a read on what they're going to do. But do you think $28 million against the cap serves his production? Because I don't. He had 3 sacks last year. His production doesn't match $28 million. What's going on, man? Hi guys, let him have a chance. Who knows how things work out? Again, that's right, man. Like, you got to wait until next year. You got to wait until next year. You got to wait till 230 days from now when this season begins, and you got to see what happens. You got to see what happens. That's what we're waiting on. We're just waiting on next year. Everything depends on next year. Obviously, we're going to get some smoke during training camp, some smoke on what Daronte Jones is going to be, but we ultimately have to wait till week 1 next year and see what he's really about, because his defensive coordinator, Brian Flores, is really good. He's worked under Vance Joseph. He's really good. He's worked under Mike Zimmer. He's really good. Like, the guys that he's worked under just have so much experience. He's probably learned so many things. I just think that, he could be ready for a defensive coordinator role, and they gave him the right chance, right? A lot of teams wanted to interview him. And that means something. Right? Hopefully we do something in free agency, because we need to bring depth in players for both offense and defense and do the same thing in the draft. They're going to do something in free agency. Like, they're going to have a lot of money. They're going to pay people too. So they're going to have less money than you think, but they're still going to have some money. Adam Peters knows what he needs to do, to be honest. And the draft, like, who knows how that's going to go with the picks we have. We don't have very many, but Adam Peters knows what he needs to do. So yeah, just have confidence in that. We're going to be fine. We're going to be fine. This is not a bad move here to hire Daronte Jones, but this isn't a great move either, right? It's underwhelming. It's just kind of mid, to be honest with you. So that was the last comment, guys. So since you guys don't have anything more to say, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. You guys, it's 9:25. I did not expect to stream tonight, but make sure you guys hit the like button on the way out, please. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel on the way out. Also, please do that. And both those things don't go unnoticed. They definitely help me out. So yeah, I'm gonna get out of here. You guys have a great night. So the Washington Commanders have hired Daronte Jones, defensive backs coach, for the Minnesota Vikings, as their new defensive coordinator. Now we get to work on the offseason videos. We get to work on the offseason live streams. We get to work on the offseason for the Washington Commanders. But for right now, I'm going to get out of here. Make sure you leave a like on the stream, subscribe to the channel. Hail to the Commanders as always. Daronte Jones is your new defensive coordinator in Washington. I'll see you guys in the